Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Under no conditions will there ever be stand-up comedy. No conditions. My client steadfastly refuses to ever appear on such a stupid waste of streaming media, live media, television, radio, whatever the fuck you're calling that crap you do in the morning. You're not going to get them. You won't be on next time. Oh, good morning, folks. It is Wednesday. You call this a hump day? It is Wednesday, October 4th. I got to look at the calendar. 2023. Beautiful day here. Summer is back, and I'm a happy man. Can you tell I'm a happy man? Do I look happy? This is my smiling face. I'm not really that happy. I always have something to complain about. The United States of America is in a state of chaos, and that's good for me, personally. And I hate to make it all about me. No, I don't. But it is, I'm running for Congress. And Congress is in the toilet right now, swirling around. The shit is clashing, and it's clashing with the piss and the stink, and it's just coming up. And then that says, well, why not let Matt Napo in here? He could fit in just fine with all this chaos, stupidity, and bullshit. If you don't know, if you live under a rock, hey, we might get a little political here today. Maybe not. I don't have a guest scheduled, but I have a couple of miscreants in the back waiting to join me in the chaos and stuff that famous comedians will steadfastly refuse to be on. That's a whole other story we'll get to later on. So the Democratic Party is now celebrating the chaos that they went along with, that was started by Matt Gaetz, elsewise known as Butthead, because he didn't like Kevin McCarthy. And there are 8 Republicans who really didn't like Kevin McCarthy. And listen, I don't like Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy's dog doesn't like Kevin McCarthy. He's a dick. And listen, if anybody knows about being a dick, come on. It takes one to know one. Kevin McCarthy is a huge cockosaurus. Nobody likes him. Nobody likes him. His mother didn't like him. His mother, the minute after he was born, she said, I should have believed in abortion. He's not a good guy. But Matt Gaetz and a bunch of other Republicans wanted to get rid of him. And the Democrats, just because they can't fucking think for themselves or do anything that makes any kind of fucking sense, went along with it. And so they ousted Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. For the first time in the history of the United States, a speaker has been thrown out. It took 15 votes to get him in the first place. And Democrats are celebrating. Not something to celebrate. If we've learned anything about the Republican Party, is they can always go a little bit lower. There is no rock bottom. There is always a little bit lower. And I promise you, the next shitty Speaker of the House, even this pro temp dude, McHenry, is a step down lower than McCarthy, if you can believe that is possible. And yes, it's very possible. And so what we're headed to, like a turd being voted in as by the members of the Congress as the next Speaker of the House. It will take a big stinky brown turd to stand in front with the gavel in its little shitty hand. And that's what we're headed towards. And Democrats are celebrating like they did something good. You went along with the bait. You took the bait. It's like a fucking fish getting caught on a hook and saying, "Yeah, I did it." No, you didn't do it. You got suckered in. You took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. What does this mean? It means it's good for me. As you know, I'm running for Congress in 2024, which is the election is 13 months away. And the American people are going to be so sick of both parties that I think, first of all, I have an advantage that my who I'm running against will be in jail, George Santos. But other than that, well, I'll have the advantage that everybody in my district will be so sick of both parties that independents, the only independent on the ballot in my district, me, might be appealing to them. Like, I'm not voting for a Democrat or a Republican. I'm going with this bald-headed dick. And so, and I will take these two miscreants that are in the background with me to Washington to fuck it up even more. That is the plan, ladies and gentlemen. And I think we have a shot. As crazy as it sounds, I could be a congressman, and these guys could actually come with me on that ride. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Morning, blessed day. Morning, brother Williams. Good to see you back at safe and sound. And brother Matt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Willie, you got no sound. You got no sound, bro.
I think he left it at the airport.
You left your mic at the airport.
And TSA took his voice.
Are you gonna pop out, or are you gonna? No, you just keep doing that. I'll talk to GD while you fuck around with whatever you fuck around.
That's probably why he doesn't have. That's how he.
I'm sorry,
having kids.
I said I would talk to GD. You know, all these black guys look alike to me.
I know. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. I just pulled it out and put it back in. Sometimes that's all you got to do.
Well, that's what she likes. That's what she likes.
Yeah.
I misnamed our other participant here as GD. They all look like alike, but it's Reverend Jelly Roll. Good morning, Rev. I'm sorry about that.
That's right, no problem. I'm used to it.
What can I say? I'm a dick, but I'm going to Congress as a dick. I vote for me because I'm less of a dick than the dicks that are already in. That I don't know. Maybe you voted for worse. It's a good enough slogan. Anyway, the nonsense that's going on in Congress is just ridiculous. And it's like, as I said, like a fish getting caught by a hook and celebrating that it beat the fisherman. I tricked him. I fucked him good. Now he's going to have me for dinner.
I'm excited about the possibility of adding to that foolishness. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, why not? Why not us? Why not us running this fucking country? And that would really fuck things up for nobody would know which way is up or which way is down and all that kind of stuff.
Well, to make it official, the Church of Last Resort in Westminster, Maryland, has thrown its endorsement behind Matt Neveau for Congress for New York's 3rd congressional district.
Yeah.
Now, since we know that this is a non-money campaign, he has not taken any money. So we did not take any money either to collect it. What we are going to do is we're going to go door to door in Westminster, Maryland, and collect votes and send the votes up to them. So we're going to gather some votes, put them in this bucket. Actually, we got 2 buckets. So we're going to give you 2 buckets of votes or 2 buckets of ballots and send them up to the New York Congressional 3rd District for you, Brother Matt.
That's good. You know what? I don't think they will let any of those people in that district. The district, here we go now. My district, the district I'm running in, is the snootiest blue blood rich people district in America, I think. One of them, anyway. It's like Beverly Hills of Long Island. And once, when I was a young man, I was delivering appliances for Sears, and I was delivering a refrigerator. I had it on the truck, and this guy had me move it around from his guest house to his garage to the main house. No, I don't like it there. And he was just, and it was hot as hell, middle of the summer. And after like 45 minutes of moving a gigantic double door refrigerator around his property, I finally said, "Could you make up your mind? I'm getting a little tired here." And he just looked at me. He said, "You unshaven bastard! How dare you speak to me like that?" I was like, that's the kind of people we're dealing with. Old Brookville, big money. They won't even allow me in if they see me, which is why I'm not really campaigning. I figure I have a better chance of getting voted for if they never see me or never get a chance to meet me or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because they're like, that guy? Nah.
Yeah. But it's surprising that they voted for Santos because he's not the kind of guy they like up there either. But however, that may be. Are you guys familiar with Lawrence Fox?
Is that Lucius Fox's brother in the Batman 4 or something?
I don't know. He's an English actor and wants to be in politics. But he posted a video this morning. He goes, because the police are there raiding his house. And he's like, "Look at all these coppers. Look at them all. They're stealing my stuff," while he's sitting there on the couch smoking a cigar. Apparently, he was raided for damaging surveillance cameras in London or something. That's conspiring to damage cameras in London. But he was on a talk show, and he's claiming this was all a result of a talk show. But I'm thinking this is what I need as a publicity stunt, because he's getting a ton of coverage of this, is to have police come here and raid my little room here and drag me out.
Or while you don't want the record, just have some strippers dressed as police officers raid your home. You know, to the neighbors, it looks like the cops are coming, but to you, it's just a good time. So it's like both, because all you need is the publicity. So the neighbors will see like 5 or 6 cops coming in, you know, but you know, once they get in, it's like, chicka bow, bow, Matt for Congress, chicka bow, bow. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. But I'm thinking this guy staged this whole thing, because he's sitting there on the couch smoking a cigar, talking to his iPhone or whatever he's got, talking about this is the country we live in, and look at all these coppers taking stuff. I'm thinking he hired these guys, bought them some fake cop suits at the Halloween store.
Right, yeah.
It's all a publicity stunt. So why can't I do that? I mean, I'm as hoary.
Stuff you, throw you in a van or something like that, whatever.
Yeah. You got a new background, Will. What is that?
This is actually okay. So this is no bullshit. This is my bedroom wall, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. So like when my sister first, when I first moved down here like 3 years ago, my sister was so excited that I was going to be moving here that she had her husband at the time paint this on the wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a bear or a tiger? What the fuck?
That's the Chicago Bear emblem.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's nice. Your travels yesterday went well, I assume. I know you were late. Your flight was late.
Yeah, no. So my first flight got delayed, and then I missed my connection. So I don't know where my check bag is. And then what was the other? Oh, and you know that pillow that I talked about that I take with me everywhere?
Yeah.
I left that and my notebook. Yeah, my notebook. Yeah, that's bad. So I got and the picture in that, and all of the ones that I've done so far, they're all in that notebook. And that
any chance you're gonna get that back, or is that like lost?
I don't know. I'm gonna call the Sioux Falls Airport and see if maybe they got it in the lost and found or whatever. Hopefully.
What a bummer.
You know, it really, this would be like hilarious. I mean, you would find this funny as fuck. Like a year from now, some guy is famous and he's got your material. Just telling
Imagine some guy dying. You see the next HBO special, and some guy's dying on stage at the end of it.
Killing it, man. He just got like a $5 million contract using your material. You're going like, motherfucker, I wrote those jokes. He's like, nope, it's in my book. These are jokes in
I
my
got it in
book.
my book. It sounds like what's the Water Boy, except for in comedy, because that's really what happened essentially. Because the coach took Henry Winkler's playbook, and that's why he was
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great twist on that plot.
That's fucked up, man. Well, I hope we get it back. If
Yeah, it's not what I really am disappointed in is the losing all the news stories that I had built up. Because dude, I had like half that notebook was tore out and reversed and put in the front,
yeah. I wonder what somebody would make of it if they just picked it up and started reading. Like, what kind of sick fuck is this who lost this book here?
Right.
They're gonna take fingerprints off the middle pages, and there's gonna be like a warrant for his ass. FBI's gonna be like, we read this book, and you one sick fuck.
Somebody's gonna take because it's a spiral notebook, so somebody's gonna take that spiral and choke somebody out with it. It's gonna be a murder weapon, and then I'm gonna get arrested.
Yeah,
I heard it here first. Some guy just wrote that down, going,
"Oh, that's a great idea."
Yeah. I don't know if both of you guys. I'm changing the subject here. You guys are aware that I have tried marijuana in my life, right? You're aware that I have tried it.
The fuck you say?
I'm disappointed, but
I'm sorry to let you down, but I have been using it. I know but I only have this little bud left. I don't know if you could see this. This is all I have left. It's a tiny little bud in there.
You should call.
And so I went to my dispensary yesterday, or the Green Space, who were no longer advertising on this program. And I went in there. As I walked through the door, he said, "I got nothing, bro." I went, "What?" I said, "Are you getting a shipment soon?" He said, "I don't know. I don't think so. Cops were just in here raiding this place." Apparently, it was not a legal dispensary. It was a CBD store that was selling weed illegally. And so, and I think my exposure of them on this program led to them getting raided.
We dry snitched on them. Is that what happened? You saying we dry snitched them?
Well, yeah, I obviously, I asked them about the sponsorship. They were fine with it. I went on the air last week. We talked about it, and I said that I've been getting my weed there. Apparently, somebody in this neck of the woods said, "Wait a minute, that's not a real dispensary," and sent the cops there to raid the place. He said there were 20 cops in there. Now, pot is legal here, but in my county, I have to travel 50 miles to get to a recreational legal dispensary. Now, there are dispensaries around that if you have the card that you pay New York State $200 for, you can buy it as a medical thing. Those medical dispensaries are everywhere. I don't love their weed. It's kind of like watered down weed or something. I don't know. It's weak. But so I'm going online trying to order it, and they're saying basically I'm out of delivery in every delivery range for every recreational place, so I can't deliver here. And then, if I want to get it legally, I have to drive 50 miles. Now, it's just a scam for the government to get an extra $200 out of everybody to buy this fucking card. That's what
you should be able to order it online. You know that, right?
I have ordered weed online, but when it gets here, it's like weak. It's not like the stuff this guy was selling at Green Space, which is good. Maybe I should.
I got a number. I got a guy in Albuquerque. I'll hook you up with. He's got his own farm. I'll give you a number, and he could probably help you.
Well, I would appreciate that. I mean, I could drive 50 miles, and I'm probably going to end up driving 50 miles. So, and I can't today because I got a full day. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to end up driving 50 miles to go get some, and then buy enough that it will last me a month, so I don't have to drive again. 50 miles.
I got some barbecue sauce with THC laced barbecue sauce, which is kick ass. It's
nice.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I have the mustard based and the vinegar based. I have one of each because depending on what part of the country you're in, and it kicks ass. I mean, I was like, whoa, I can't even cover all my meat without getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Does it smell like reefer when it's on the grill?
No. I don't even know if I ever made it to the grill. I think no. I
Drinking the
see. I
bottle,
was
standing there.
because I didn't know if I could actually, because when you cook alcohol, you cook. It
Right.
cooks out. So I didn't want to take that chance. So I was like cooking the meat and then pouring it on, afterwards because I didn't want to cook out.
That was my concern when Kat was making her own edibles. I was like, I would be really nervous to buy an ounce of really good weed for $400, $500, whatever the hell they pay for an ounce of really best weed. And then you're going to melt it down or cook it, melt the oil out of it, or however they fucking cook it. I'm like, you're going to ruin it. For me, I know I would ruin it. And then I'll be like, I just wasted $500 when I should have just bought edibles.
No, this is a slightly I have a marijuana cookbook, and it gives you and it tells you all of these things about the relative strength of THC and how you have to be when you're cooking, how to be careful with it. But on page 38, it gives the warning: do not cook while high. That should not be. I kid you, that's like on page 38.
It should be on the cover.
Yes, it should be on the cover. It's like, no, I'm like reading a book, and I'm like, it's really good information. And then I get to this one sentence on page 38 in the forward, because the forward is like 45 pages long.
Yeah.
And it's like, do not cook while high. And I'm like, that should be like right under the author's name on the front of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't bury that.
Yeah, no. So I don't know. I'm trying to go with. I'm sorry to if this is gonna make people angry at me, like everything else I fucking say it makes people angry at me. Louis C.K. is my source of wisdom on this. He said because he was on, I think on my mother's house or your mother's house, somebody's mother's house, podcast where he said. Acceptance is the key to everything, because they were talking about his thing where he got caught jerking off and the public humiliation. He said at some point acceptance is all that gets you through it. Is you have to. This is how it is now. People know I jerk off for people, and that's what I have to deal with. Nothing's going to change. You're never going back to the life you had before, and this is my how I'm dealing with my. Because this thing was like a stone's throw. I could ride a bicycle to this dispensary and get weed. This CBD store that was selling weed illegally. It was just there and convenient. And now I have to accept that that's no longer the case. And I have to make life is changing. And it's it's a traumatic change for me. But I'll get through it because I'm going to accept that the cops busted the dude. Fuck him.
In D.C. before pot was before it was legal to sell in stores, you were allowed to give it to people, but you couldn't sell it. So it'd be like a store, and it'd be an art store. So you go in and you buy a piece of art, and they'd be like, "Here, this art is $200, and here's a free bag of weed."
Yeah, this art that was painted by a kindergartner with his ass.
Yeah, this made with my brother or my Canon LC39.
Yeah.
It's $400 for this piece of artwork, and here's your plot.
That's a great workaround. That's a great workaround, in my opinion. I always love people that can outsmart the system that's in play, and I kind of feel like when people find those loopholes and stuff like that, like more power to them. In my opinion.
They were also doing these singing telegram things, so you could deliver it to your home.
Nice.
So they'd be like, "Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Here's your pot." So
very good. Yeah, so I'll live with it. I'll figure it out. Yesterday I was distraught, but I was online looking for every place because when legalization first happened here in New York, they said there were delivery places, but nobody delivers to where I am because I'm too far in the middle of nowhere. So I was online looking at all the dispensaries near me and all that kind of stuff. Very frustrating experience. Most of them make you go through this shopping experience where you're picking out all the stuff, and then you get to checkout, and then the minute you hit checkout, it says your address is out of our delivery range. We can't set. I'm like, you fuckers! Why can't you put that on the cover?
Out of curiosity, I mean, since you have your radio station out of your home. Is that like a business? I mean, can you like have an additional business out of that same room, let's say a dispensary, and
but the
and then
license,
sell to your neighbors.
the license is, for a dispensary is $100,000.
Oh, wait a second. My other bucket. Let me get the other bucket.
My other bucket.
Yeah. A bigger bucket. It better be a bigger bucket.
Nice. Yeah, pretty big bucket. Yeah.
I mentioned everything that I say gets me in trouble. Well, you probably don't know this, but yesterday we had a guest scheduled who did not show, who was a trans comedian, and apparently I am the new Dave Chappelle, the Mr. Trans hater person, for something I said yesterday, trying to clear up why I'm not a trans hater. Made me a trans hater, and a lot. I mean, I can't keep up with the spam, the hate mail I have automatically going to my spam folder is now full. I probably, no exaggeration, 250 or more emails of what a trans hater, bigot, terrible person I am, and I, for the life of me, I can't think of anything I said that make it seem like I hate trans people or I'm against that.
Jesus.
What I said was I had a trans person on, a trans comedian on a couple of years ago, Julia Scotti, and I think she hates me because right from the start I was like, I don't know the pronouns I'm supposed to use, and I don't know, because I knew her when I knew of her when she was Rick, and then she changed, and I was just trying to get on my bearings, saying I had never really known. I knew one trans person 30 years ago who was a friend, went away for the summer, came back as a woman, and then didn't acted like I didn't exist, like they didn't know me, and never really was friendly with that person again. And that's the only experience I really had with a trans person, and that set the tone for her hating me. And now she hates me, and her manager, who has got lots of comedians under his umbrella, hates me, and he's the reason that I can't get a lot of these comedians on now. That's all I said yesterday. And so from whatever people took from that, I'm now Dave Chappelle, the anti-trans guy, on, which would be good if they would spread it on Twitter instead of just writing me hate mail. Just go on Twitter or Facebook and say, don't listen to the anti-trans guy. That's what I would love, if we could just say what a dick I am and what a bigot I am. Maybe
I'd be willing to bet that's actually Dave Chappelle using someone else's name to take the heat off himself.
Oh,
he started off another identity and go like, oh damn it, I'm free. I'm out from under the log. Look, little trans hater Matt over there.
I really hope you're right.
I caught some of the show yesterday. I swear I heard you say that, like, you don't hate anyone and you don't like, if people can live how they want to live. I'm sure I heard you say that.
I'm pretty sure I said that a couple of times.
So why don't they hear that? You know what I mean? Like they hear that you're. I don't get how being confused and inexperienced is a reason to hate you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like you spent no time throwing judgment on them or saying bad things about them. So what the fuck is their problem?
I posted a reel where Rev said,
they got something up their ass or something.
Right. I posted a reel where Rev said, it's not like you said, hey, welcome, tranny.
Well, I know that they don't like that word particularly. They don't like because I did a joke. There was a great joke, and it had that word in it, and I got, man, boy, howdy, did I get taken to the fucking shed.
Right, but he was saying it's not like you said that.
You know what they did? They clipped out the other part and goes, it's not like, and it goes, he said that.
Yeah. So I'm hated because of that. Which, again, I'm not against being hated. I think being hated is a good thing for.
I mean, kindness sometimes, yeah.
For this kind of platform, the most successful dudes out there doing this purposely put out stuff to make them outrage people, even stuff they don't believe in. Even if I weren't a tranny hater, come out and say, tranny hater, I'm a tranny hater, and all of a sudden that would get me attention. But apparently I only get the fucking people were
We're
willing to
probably
email
gonna
me
get a strike,
and
dude,
not really
because you
cancel
said the
culture
word
me.
like 6 times in a row.
I know.
Like, they're uptight, dude. They're uptight. They are very uptight about that right now. Like, I'm telling you, bro.
I don't know.
Like,
Because I had that one lady who I can't remember her name either now, but she's a doctor of gender studies and she teaches at several universities.
right.
And she was using that word a lot. And
Interesting.
they don't. It's kind of everything is like people call me a guinea. I could say guinea wop to anybody, but if somebody called me a dirty guinea or a dirty wop, I would go, fighting words. That's like, come on,
Right.
you use it all the time.
I think the only thing that, like, race wise, when people call me a potato eater, I get real mad.
Well,
I
you
get
are
real,
from.
I'm Irish, yeah.
No, I almost
You
said
fucking
Idaho, but you're
potato
from
eater. I've been
Iowa,
called
not
that.
not Idaho. Idaho is known for potatoes beyond the Irish thing. It's just an Idaho potatoes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, I can tell you right now, being a black man, I hate being called a Republican. So I understand all the shit
Well,
you're
if you
going
wouldn't
through.
wear that MAGA hat sometimes.
Wow.
Well, it's not the MAGA hat so much as the fact it's the matching drawers that people get upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy in Will's next to hometown, Albuquerque? There, they grabbed a MAGA hat off his head and he shot the guy. He was at a rally, a bunch of anti-maggots. Saw this guy with the maggot hat, and they grabbed the red hat off his head, and he was running away. Nobody was chasing him, and he pulled out a gun and started shooting people. He got arrested for menacing with a weapon, but he actually shot a guy and didn't get charged for that because they said it was self-defense. It was not like they were going to kick his ass or beat him to death. It was just a strange case, but yeah, guy it just pulled out a gun and shot a guy. So, and there was another case in a mall recently where a guy was getting bullied about something like that. I'm not sure if it was a MAGA hat or something, and the guy just pulled out a gun and shot the guy, and he didn't even get charged for a video in the mall.
Man, it's scary because I tell you what, dude, people forget. COVID especially. The keyboard warrior thing was already a problem, and then now since COVID, I think it kind of like made that mentality worse because like people were already being online keyboard warriors, and then we got into this situation where we had even less contact with people, and now like you run into people like even this dude at the bar. Like, listen, if I'd have been in my former mindset, I'd have beat the shit out of a door guy on Sunday if I was the old me. You know what I mean? Like my friend had to like go and talk to me and calm me down because like he was just super disrespectful for no reason. And when that happens to me, I get upset. Like I don't like I don't like being disrespected just out of the fucking blue. You're not gonna do that to me. I'm not and like I'm all fucking talking to my friend. Like I could take my teeth out for a reason, Like fucking like
It's funny.
I can take my teeth out and I can take your teeth out.
Right. Yeah. Like listen, bro. Like you're gonna pop me in the face, I'm gonna look at you.
I'm the last person to preach against violence because as a young man, I was extremely violent. I would engage for some reason. I was not. I was willing to go to war to death over the stupidest fucking things.
Dumb stuff.
But I think the lesson that we're seeing, and for anybody smart enough or old enough to understand it, is just you can disagree with somebody wearing a red hat, but that doesn't give you the right to go drag it off their head, and you never know if they're packing or what. So leave them a fuck alone.
Yeah. And that's exactly the point I was getting to. Is it like we need to remember in society that like we don't always know what's up with somebody else, and like a little tiny thing like that, and you can find yourself shot or killed, or even worse. Some people think that I can't imagine how I would feel if I was in a situation like that, and then I was injured in a way that didn't kill me but made me an absolute burden to my family for the rest of my life or something like that. You know what I mean? Like even that,
Yeah, and it's a ridiculous. I mean, imagine being dead for that stupid reason.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
I lost my life for grabbing a hat off a dude's head.
Shoot.
What
Well, I can understand why the guy was in charge, because what they didn't put in that part of the story, if you read a little bit further down, it says that red hat was foil lined, so it had aluminum foil inside the hat, and once they took that off, all the waves just went in into just like, kill what, kill this, kill, and it just, that hat was there. Most of those hats that they're wearing are foil lined. That's why there's so many of those red hats out there. They're trying to protect us from them. You take off their hats, and they gone really crazy. You think they're crazy now? Take away that tinfoil hat.
Well, yeah, all right, that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
on some
it's in
level.
the bottom of the story. You just read all the way down to under the footnote, past the ibit.
What'd you say there? Well, I missed what you said there.
I think MAGA folks do all probably wear tinfoil hats. That's probably true.
You know what? That was my point with the Kevin McCarthy thing. I mean, Kevin McCarthy, it might be objectionable to a lot of people on the left and the center, but as far as right wing guys, he's probably one of the more sane right wing guys there are in this world right now.
He believes the same thing as the other ones. His problem is that he just dresses it up better. So he's really not more sane. He just you know how they say men don't grow up?
I don't think he believes JFK Jr. is still alive, or that there are Jewish space lasers, or I don't think he believes in QAnon.
I think he believes that JFK is alive and using Jewish space lasers. No, well he believes in the bigger conspiracies. Like the stolen elections and the ones that affect democracy, not the ones that affect sanity.
So Matt, you don't think they used lasers for these Hawaii fires? I kind of think there's some compelling evidence. I think.
I don't think so. First of all, the theory is that it was a Chinese attack on the United States. If China was going to attack the United States, they're not as dumb as Japan was in 1942. They would attack the mainland, not fucking Hawaii, because if we've proved anything, is that Hawaii is a nice vacation spot, but we ain't gonna fucking, it means nothing to America in the long run. They burned down. We didn't even pay attention. The mainland didn't even pay attention to it. Like, it's just a bunch of rich folks living on the beach and fucking eating fish. That ain't our problem. We're over here in California digging the sunshine and waiting and striking on movies and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't even a news story here. China's smarter than that. They're not.
Yeah, China wants to fuck with us. They cut off our TikTok access.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
And
no TikTok for you.
Yeah, but that's
no ticky ticky. No ticky ticky. No ticky tacky. No laundry.
I think they would come after New York. Anybody serious enough to start shit with the United States is going to start here. I mean,
if we're taken over by China, I think it will happen without a shot, because I think it would happen economically and things like that. Because when you think about like how much control they have over the national debt and everything like that, but the reason that they don't do those things is because it would kill the dollar, and the U.S. is probably still, responsible for a lot of the, exports that they put out, for purchase.
China has a strong motivation to keep the American worker buying Chinese products.
Yes.
they actually support our lifestyle, because our lifestyle is all about buying cheap shit from them.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But yes, that all those fucking. But here's the thing: I think RFK Jr. has given the QAnon stuff new life, because now they can just say, "Oh, Q just put the wrong initial in there. He meant RFK Jr., not JFK Jr. is going to be Trump's running mate." Now it all makes sense. But now RFK is going to abandon the Democratic Party and run as an independent, and I think he has a chance. I think he has a chance to win. and I know a lot of people think I'm being fucking crazy now, and I've been crazy about other shit before. I mean, we can go over the football picks and show you how wrong I could be. But uh, he can take. First of all, he's going to take a lot of people who support Trump see him or did support Trump see him as another alternative or anti-establishment guy, anti-vaccine. They love all that kind of stuff. So he's going to take some people from them. Definitely take some people from Biden. You take enough from both, and as a third-party candidate, I think he could actually get in. I think he can.
I don't think he could win. I think he could take enough from both of them that we wanted with a President Cornel West. And I would move to I'd move to Clantown before I live under Cornel West presidency.
He's kind of he's eccentric, but no, I don't think that's a possibility. But I didn't think RFQ was RFQ was a legitimate contender at all. I thought it was laughable until this idea started to hit me that he could take enough from. Listen, nobody loves Biden. Nobody loves. I shouldn't say nobody loves Biden. There are some people I see on Twitter who actually love Joe Biden. Biden.
It's interesting that you say that because I've recently had to do like a political poll because like this last election that we had was the first time that I ever got to vote actually, and
wow.
So I got my first like political call, right? And it was just but a survey of questions, and one of the questions was are you happy with the Biden, or would you say that President Biden is doing a good job? And then she like went through, do you strongly agree? Do you somewhat agree? Do you somewhat disagree? Do you strongly disagree? And I was like, okay, so I'm going to answer your question, but I just want to know from you as a surveyor, has there actually been someone that says strongly agree? Because if there is, I'm just going to shoot myself in the head. Like
there are.
Yeah, there are.
Joe from New Jersey strongly agrees. Sherry Jacobson, who was on this program, who used to be a political RNC activist for the Republicans, she totally believes and Joe Biden is doing a great job and would strongly agree with that. There are lots of people on my Twitter feed that strongly agree with that, and it boggles my mind.
It's boggling.
Well, I have to put everything in perspective because you think about what the first guy didn't even try to do, and so I don't bash. It's like when I used to coach Little League. If I had a player out there that was doing his damnedest and kept trying, he wasn't hurting the team. He kept trying to move the ball forward. Even though I wanted him to move the ball, let's say 9 yards, and he was only going 5 yards, I wasn't going to I'd say, okay, you're still trying. I'm not going to yank you out. And that's how I feel about Biden. I feel like he's moving the ball enough because the last guy stole the ball, deflated the ball, pissed on the ball, and then blamed the other team for it. So in politics, and there's a thing that's it's called there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies, only permanent interests. Know, and so as long as he's not like trying to actively steal people's rights, I say, I say let him get reelect him, let him resign in 2 years. And then that'll give the vice president 2 years head start of learning how to run shit. I just say, I'm just saying, keep Trump out of office, whatever it takes. Keep Trump out, because we're just so fucked.
Yeah,
and I can't afford to move to Canada. My wife and Mona we'd be packing up. And
I would never move to Canada under any circumstances because it's just too cold for me. If I'm moving anywhere, it would probably be Costa Rica or someplace where it's warm. Aruba. I don't know, Antigua, even Mexico.
Dude, speaking of cold, it's freezing here in New Mexico today. Oh my God, it was cold.
Really colder than South Dakota.
Dude, yeah. And I was pissed about it, bro. It was like 87 was the temperatures I left. And like during the day, it'll get hot today. But my wife went to work at 6 this morning And so I was up with her at like 5:30 or 5 whatever it was, and we went out to have a cigarette, and I was fucking shivering, bro. I was
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I was thinking about my time in New Mexico. It was generally still summer through the first couple of, but you're in a
yeah.
different, you're 400 miles or 300 miles from where I was, but it would be summer up until almost Halloween, and then it would get cold for 3 months or so. But even when it was cold, it would still warm up to 60 or so 70
Yeah,
degrees during the day sometimes.
yeah.
But yeah, uh,
I have a question, William. And this is it's a little bit different off the track, but they have these trees in New Mexico that drop these burrs. They're like the size of walnuts, but they have spikes that are strong enough to like poke through your fucking tires. What kind of tree is that?
I don't know what it's called.
But you know what I'm talking about, because
yeah.
the tires out there have to be like special tires, because they, the bicycle tires anyway, because it'll just poke right through a bicycle tire.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're doing trails and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because when I was out there, we had like this. We have special tires.
I've had them go all the way through the sole of my shoe and but like it only gets you a little, and you're like, but then you realize, oh shit, it's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a real New Mexican. He's only in New Mexico because of the witness protection program.
Which he's doing really great, keeping his identity low key.
Yeah. This is true. But we're all going to DC in a year and a half anyway. January 1st of 2025, we'll all be in DC. And
wouldn't it be January 20th? Don't you?
No, that's the inauguration for the president. The Congress takes on January 2nd, actually.
Okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, you'll be a great assistant then, because you'll do whatever we say.
Right.
I'll be the yes man you've always wanted.
Matt will say, "Hey, William, I just need you to go down and steal a gavel off the speaker's desk." And you're going, "Okay, I'll be right back."
Be up for any shenanigans.
Yeah. Go. I really shouldn't say anything, because I can't. My mailbox is going to be full, and they're gonna stop rejecting my mail because I'm over my quota on my stupid Opt Online mail account.
I had to link over an email that way. It got too full, and I couldn't. And then what sucked is it was like the backup to a couple accounts that I had, and I couldn't access it because that email couldn't even get an email. It was so full.
Right. And my thing is, I made a pledge to myself not to respond to them, not to even read them, but I can't help it. I read one, and then it's just like part of it, as a human being, I have to admit, part of it fucking hurts. Part of it angers me. Sometimes it's a personal attack. They're attacking me for shit I said, trying to make them laugh in the morning, or I'm not doing this to fucking, try to save the world or anything.
But so it's not okay. So I want you to realize something, that no matter, it's not a personal attack. It's a projection, because your intent, Matt. Like that you don't have malice in the things that you say. So I encourage you to not take any of those things personally, and understand that they're projecting how they feel, and not reflecting what you said.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And there's a very big difference between those things.
I get it, but you know what? I just shouldn't read them. I shouldn't read them, and
I would not read them. That's probably
and occasionally I still find myself responding to them, even though I've made a pledge not to respond to them. In the heat of the moment, fuck you, and then all of a sudden I've opened the door to a greater conversation with the fucking moron.
I get upset when their insults are watered down, when they don't say what they really want to say. Because I had one guy called me a low IQ Negro.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, and I know what he meant. He wanted to say ignorant nigger. I know that's what he wanted to say, but he said low IQ Negro. I'm like, oh my goodness, Jim Crow Esquire, James Crow Esquire wrote me a little letter.
Wow. Yeah, anybody who says the word Negro, either, and I just said it, but I mean, it definitely, you're at least 60 years old if you're using that word. Because, I mean, as a white person, I've heard black guys say it all the time as
Or
in
working in the
comedy beats.
college fund.
Yeah,
Just be
comedians
doing
use
that.
it all the time. But if you're a white person using that word, you might as well say colored. He's a colored
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. But it's just so funny to me. That's what I get upset because I'm like, that's the best you got. You know, come on, baby, bring it. I mean, I've heard it. I've heard everything. You have to, if you want to get a rise out of me, you have to like find something really creative to call me.
Well, you're very well spoken.
Oh,
Yeah, people are really good with that kind of I don't know, passive aggressive kind of
Right.
insulting,
Right.
and they're trying to really disguise what they really want to say. And I would have a lot more respect if they just came out and said
Honestly, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't, if you're gonna be hateful, don't
At least you're
be
not being
half hateful.
cowardly about it. You're
Yeah.
saying, you're telling the world I'm
Yeah.
fucking Archie
Expose
Bunker,
yourself as you really are. Yeah.
right?
I,
Exactly.
I think I've told you this, Matt. I don't think I've mentioned it, but in case there's somebody in the audience out there who hasn't heard this, I just finished doing a performance, and when I was done, I was in the audience and I was talking to this woman of whiteness who was somewhat inebriated, and she said to me, "I don't think you represent the true African American experience."
The fuck is that?
And my wife, who is another woman of whiteness, lost her shit. she goes, what did she? Because my wife and I've been together so long, she has the neck roll now.
Yeah.
And she has the side eye and the stink eye. So she goes, what did you say to my husband? And I said, honey, ho, 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 ho. Because I'm like, I didn't call her a hoe. I'm just saying, hold on there. I said, hold on there. Because my wife is about to go to telling this other woman, it's like, I can't have white on white crime at one of my shows. You know what I'm saying? So I had to separate them. I said, honey, let me deal with this because I was raised by a drunk. I speak fluent drunk. Let me talk to the woman. And my wife let me deal with the woman, but she was watching off the side, giving her the stink eye the whole time. What you mean my husband don't represent the true African American experience?
Right.
You know what he's been through? It's like, honey, let me talk to the drunk. Let me handle the drunk.
Right. Switching gears here a little bit again. Last night, because I think I've mentioned that Dave Attell is going to be at Gov's next Saturday night, October 14th, and I'm looking forward to that. Although I have a really important gig that I should do. I want to go to see Attell with the hopes that I might get a few minutes with him. And I reached out to the people at Govs last night, and I said, is there any chance that Dave Attell would even talk to me? He said, well, what do you mean? It depends on what you mean by talk. He'll bullshit with anybody, but if you have hopes of getting him on your show, he has made it clear that under no circumstances will he ever do one of these dopey podcasts. He doesn't do podcasts, and he's very adamant about steadfast. No, don't even ask him. I'm really disappointed about that because Attell is one of my fucking heroes. I would love to get him on. I've had aspirations to get him on since I started doing this. Well, when I first started doing it, somebody said, who's your dream guest? My first number one was Stanhope. I've had Stanhope on like 3 or 4 times. Next in line was Attell, and it really.
And that's why he won't do your show. You put him second. The man is about this tall, but he's got the ego of somebody like this.
Yeah. No, I don't think he has an ego.
Oh, he does. He does. I've had. See, I don't like to brag, but I've been within smelling distance of him.
Oh.
And got to.
He does usually look like he probably smells.
Oh yeah, well, and he's my wife. My wife Amona's favorite comedian. More so, I mean, she likes him more than she likes me.
Wow.
She loves him. But she doesn't like the way he smells. But other than that, he cracks her the hell up. He can say shit that I'm not allowed to say. He can say.
Carl says this show has gone downhill. He wouldn't do it either. He's too. Well, let me just tell you something, Mr. Big Shot Carl, man. William Conway is much bigger star than you. He's open for Artie Lang and Bobcat Goldthwait. So you could
I mean, that has happened, but that was also. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not
now.
supposed to diminish these things.
I'm just
And he's
fucking
been all over
That's
the
true.
country
Both
except for
those things are
Wichita,
true.
Kansas.
right. That's
And
right.
Chris Porter, I rooted for Chris Porter. He was one of my favorite ones. Oh my god, he was so
Oh, see that? So now, how do you feel, Mr. Coleman? You want to come on and defend yourself against William Conway? William actually has gone on record as saying that Carl is a rank amateur, and he couldn't hold William's microphone. That's what he said.
I thought he said jockstrap.
Why do you say I love Carl? Why are you saying this?
You
Because
said you love Carl, but you said from a great distance.
right from a good distance, and
Because I remember, so you're not lying. You said I love Carl from a great distance, but up close I can't stand the motherfucker.
And
I remember you saying that.
You said that Carl was turf, didn't you? Say Carl was turf?
Yeah, he did. I was there.
Yeah, I was there too. So now send all your hate mail to William Conway at conwaycomedy@yahoo.com.
I told the girl on the plane about Carl. What are you talking about?
What'd you tell her, that he was tranny?
No. I said he moved to Manchester.
No, Carl's into yoga now. I don't
he?
know if you know. He's doing yoga.
Getting flexible, is he?
Yeah.
Is he thinking about jumping ship to the other side? He wants to turn into a princess so make it easier for his new daddy.
Something. So anyway, coming back to the hotel, I'm sorry to we all love Carl, and that was all just fucking good.
I can't. Okay, don't speak. I don't know Carl, so I can't.
You don't love Carl.
I don't know Carl.
No, well, we've all had sex with Carl. Put it that way.
Okay, all right. I just know that anybody who has to put the name man at the end of their name is hiding something. You know, that's like so and so the comedian. You know,
actually, it's like, shortened. It used to be Wall Man.
And it was Carla, actually. There was an A at the end. Yeah. But that's why we have so many tranny jokes, is because of Carl,
I'm getting one of these alarm. Now, today at 4 p.m. my time, William let me know that my phone is going to go bonkers for no reason at all.
No, it's 2 p.m. We're fine. I was thinking, it's 2 p.m.
Your time, my 4 p.m. my time.
No.
Oh.
It's 2 p.m. Eastern. That's why I was like, because we're going to do our thing at 4, so we're good.
Oh.
At 4 your time, it's 2 my time. I had it reversed when I saw
at 1 my time is when we were doing that thing.
Oh, okay, 1 your time.
So it could interrupt things. Right, but what's that all about? Is it like a nuclear bomb test, or what the hell is that?
They just want to test their emergency alert system. So
it works.
At 2 p.m. Eastern today, there's supposed to be a nationwide test of the emergency alert system. So
basically, if the world is coming to an end, anybody without a cell phone is fucked.
Well, and I just want to hang on a second. I do want to say that I think that, like, listen, they're doing something on a frequency level all across the nation. And I mean, that has an energy impact. You know what I mean? And like, so.
What do you mean? What's the frequency, Kenneth?
I don't know what frequency it's at, but.
You don't know about
I'm
what
just saying that to manipulate the frequency, at that kind of level, there's no way that's not having an energy effect. Like that's manipulating energy, and I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Well, you're going back to your old black cloud over Sioux Falls or whatever part of South Dakota that was.
Dark
energy. All that kind of stuff. Now, what came first, the REM song or the attack on Dan Rather with the "What's the Frequency, Kenneth"? Which came first? Was the song created after the attack as a kind of memorial to the "What's the Frequency, Kenneth" thing, or did the crazy guy on the street just quote REM? I'm not sure about that now. I'm confused in my own mind. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, and I'm thinking the song came second, but
Dan Rather was on the street in New York City, and some crazy guy just kept, "What's the frequency, Kenneth? What's the frequency, Kenneth?" And then he ended up physically attacking him. And then there's an REM song, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" And I'm just wondering which came first, the attack or the song. I think the attack came first, and REM was just making fun of it.
Right, probably.
Yeah, the song is about
what year
that.
did that happen?
Call this show hater is saying the song is about that. So the attack came first. That's just what you reminded me of that when you start talking about frequency things.
Right.
You're a new age guy now. You're one of
No,
these.
I mean, I'm just trying to pay attention to what's happening around me.
Well, all right. I don't know. I don't know. There is way too much electromagnetism and all that kind of stuff in our atmosphere in our in our air. They're fucking with everything. Radio waves. We're at a time where there's more of that ever in any time in history, but I'm not sure it affects us in any way. People say everything causes cancer. Well, how come cancer was around before everything that causes cancer was around? You know, they want to say, oh well, such and such causes cancer. Well, cancer was around 100. We've known about cancer for hundreds of thousands of years. Cancer, well, we haven't known, put a name on it, but for probably a good 500 years, we've had cancer and called it cancer. But all these things, radio waves, were not around then. So how, if radio waves cause cancer, how come cancer was around first?
Well, that's because the first thing that caused cancer was actually I think
life.
It was it was just
being born.
Yeah.
Being born causes cancer.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, being alive is the number one cause of dying from cancer.
Right, that's true. Don't believe. Oh, G.D. Fenderson's in the. Now, what hype? What hype would he be talking about? I wonder.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's what I say. Fuck him. If he can't show up and defend himself, he could just eat.
Right.
Eat dick.
I dare him to come on the show right now and say that to your face.
Exactly. Yeah, coward. Yeah. He's a scrotum. Too sensitive to be a pussy. He's a scrotum.
Power of the Lord behind him.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Right. You want to talk briefly about football? I mean, we didn't recap football, but I want to say this.
I don't have the picks.
I know you don't have the picks and anything.
I'm ready. My picks. Come on, I'm ready.
We'll do. I think we'll do picks tomorrow if we can. But I just want to say this because I said that I lost the Jets. I think that my Jet pick won. They lost by 3 points. They were.
Oh, like 3.5. Were they favored by 3?
Yeah.
Oh, he covered.
I think I actually won that game because I had that country gig. I was watching it on television. They were down 20 to like 3 or something, and I thought that was the final, but they ended up losing 23-3. So I think that means I won that game. And I don't know. I just might have dismissed myself as being a loser last week when I might have actually been a winner. I have to go back and review the tape and then go back and watch and look over the results according to the line spread and see how I really did. So maybe I'm just saying maybe I was just preempting or just put out false information about how badly I did. Maybe I did great.
I'm kind of pissed off at you now, William, because I had to recalibrate this. I had this set for baseball, okay? This was set to pick baseball picks. And now I have to, and I recalibrated it for football, and you're not going to do the football picks. So now I got this broken ass 8-ball that I can't recalibrate it back to baseball again.
Problem is, I can tell you right away, if we're talking to William, it should be a 1-ball.
Oh.
And if you're talking to me, it should be a cue ball.
Which is yellow. I don't know if you know that.
Right. Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of
solid, but the 1-ball is solid.
Well, yellow is misconstrued as a cowardly color, but it's also the color of fun, sunshine, and good times.
Friendship.
Yeah. Oh, friendship.
If you want to give a rose to a lady, but you don't want it to have a romantic connotation, you give her a yellow rose.
Did not know that.
I love you, my friend.
Did not know that.
And it's also a good color for teeth if you're trying to get out of a date.
Now, I know a lot of guys. I don't want to fucking mention names here. I'm of some friends, some relatives who are typical, always friend zone guys, and that seemed like they would be the yellow rose guy. But let me just tell you, once you get in the friend zone, you're never getting out of the friend zone. A lot of guys want to play that.
That is so not true.
Oh, it's so true.
I've busted out.
You can get out. You can get out.
You can't get out.
You can. Oh yeah.
You can't get out.
Totally.
You can.
No, you would never. If you are fooling yourself that you were ever really considered just a friend.
No. I was definitely in it.
Definitely in it. I used the bank shot. Yeah, I did the girlfriend friend, and then she told her
that is a good way to get out. Yeah.
That's how I got out. The bank shot.
Bank shot.
I'm sorry, baby. You're right. We should just be friends. Your but your friend looks good, and it's like bang bang, and now all of a sudden, the bank shot works.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's your method of choice, William?
Just wear them down over years and years of, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. After 20 years of asking, they're going to be like, all right, one time. And that one time, that's all I need.
Congratulations.
Let me do that one time. You're going to let me do it again and again. Believe me.
Yeah, see, the bank shot only takes 2 weeks. The bank shot takes 2 weeks. Your method, that's how literally my first wife.
I'm a long game kind of guy. I like the long game.
See, yeah. You guys are going to make me just
He's speechless. He's like...
I'm smoking pot, I got my dick out, and I'm thinking about you, and I'm...
Anyway, no, I think we're at a point of disagreement, but we can take this to Congress with us, and we'll decide it there. Just keep it on the back burner until we get there. I do. They want to reschedule me now for early next week for this interview for television for my congressional run. I do think, coming back to where we started this whole fucking thing, I think this chaos in Congress definitely opens the door to that actually being a possibility. Maybe I'm just getting my hopes up, but because when I first started, it's just so ridiculous that. The more I think about it, the more there's actually an opportunity to actually win this fucking thing. And now, how fucked up would that be?
But okay, hang on though. Yes, it would be fucked up, but that's what you're proving, though, Matt. The whole reason you ran was to point out how bad the system is not working. Because in truth, there's no reasonable reason that a candidate you should win based on the merit of what you're going for. But if you can, holy fucking cow, what is wrong with this system? How can we fix it? Where do we go from here? You know what I mean?
I almost feel like it needs to really finally break before people will wake up, because we were headed for a government shutdown. Now, the problem is we've been headed for government shutdowns time and time again for the last 40 years, and they wait until the stroke of midnight to say, we decided to come to a deal. But in 45 days, it's going to happen again, and there's no fucking leadership in Congress at all to actually say, to make that deal next time. And I do think we've come to take it for granted that it's not going to shut down. And when it does shut down, it's going to affect people in a big way that they didn't realize. 9.1 million people stop getting their paycheck. That's going to fucking hump the economy so fucking hard in its ass.
And that's not even counting small businesses that rely on those other, the transcendental businesses.
Yeah. I used to work, I was a marketing director for a company that's entire business model was, and all their customers were government employees. They just cater to government employees.
Sure.
All those people will stop paying their bills, and they do it by credit. They give people credit through their job because the government check. People stay in that job for 30 years. They can expect that it's just going to come out of their paycheck every week. That just stops. And so a lot of those businesses, and believe me, there's a lot of them people don't realize, $9.1 million not getting their pay, employees
Prostitutes.
not getting their paychecks. Yeah.
Yeah, DC prostitutes. They're just their income is like going to go down to like 30% off of. They're gonna be living off of 30% of what they used to have.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do think 43 days now from 43 days from now actually is what it is. I think the government's going to shut down unless they can get this chaos resolved, and I don't think they're going to get this chaos. You know, they're talking about nominating Trump for Speaker of the House. Like he hasn't gotten enough shit to do, showing up in court every day with lawyers who forget to check a box to say jury trial. You know, that kind of thing. If your lawyer is that bad that she forgets to check a box.
And then blame the judge and it's like, you didn't give us a chance. Like, you didn't check the box.
Yeah.
Box?
And then she tries to deny it with in front of lawyers who've been have been legal professionals for 30 years or more, hundreds and hundreds of lawyers. And she's saying, that's not the way the system works. Like, little girl, I've been doing this since you were born. That's how it works. You forgot to check a box. Fucking, she just doesn't want to admit it because then Trump will be fucking crucifying her in public. I don't know. So he doesn't have time to be Speaker of the House, but they're going to nominate him anyway, and they're going to nominate every fucking wahoo and crazy person, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and but again, maybe we have to go through this fucking complete breakdown of the system in order to kind of. I don't think we'll ever get it fixed. And going back to that, Biden, whether Biden's a good president, I don't think anybody could ever do a good job, like a satisfactory job for the majority of the people. I don't think they will ever get to a point where the majority of people in this country feel like, yeah, we're in good hands. We have good leadership. That
a lot of that's because they're stupid and selfish too. You know, a lot of people want too much given to them on a platter and not have, I'm sorry, but they're just a lot of people just gotten lazy. They've forgotten what a good work ethic is, or any kind of ethic in some regard. Some regard. So they're lazy and they're selfish. They just don't understand.
And then we have a lot of really, really fucking insane people, religious people who have lost their minds about what's really going on. They attribute everything that's going on to some biblical end days type of scenario, or Trump is like the second coming of Christ. And then there was this lady on Twitter, and she was dead serious, saying that he's the bloodline of Christ. And basically, Abraham Lincoln was a direct descendant of Jesus Christ. Well, hello, Christ didn't have any kids, according to your,
according to their book. According to my book, he had kids.
Oh, he did. He had kids
and a wife, married to Mary Magdalene.
I know the Mary. Oh yeah. Well, that's the Dan Brown book. Look at now you're on the bottom.
No, not even a Dan Brown book. It's like if you look at a tradition, Jesus would have had to have been married by the time he was 33. He'd have been married off already.
Right.
I don't think there were any bachelors, any Jewish bachelors above the age of 20. I don't think they existed. I mean, that's why his mom was like passed off at 14. It's like, no, you're marrying. You bleed, you breed. Go.
Huh.
Yes. Huh. I mean, Mary was already betrothed to Joseph when she had and she was young. She was a teenage mother.
You guys obviously know more about this book than I do. But
well, I mean, he's a doctor. He's a doctor and a reverend, so of course he does.
Well, he's a reverend too. So he's a reverend and a doctor. The doctor is just a self-appointed doctor, but the reverend is real.
Yes. I had been to enough VD clinics that I have actually earned an honorary degree as a doctor. So that's
you say GD clinics or VD clinics?
VD, SD, STI, VD, whatever you young people call it these days. But I've spent enough time around orderlies to know that so I got an honorary title.
All right. I gotta tell you a story that I know you can appreciate. Years ago, I broke the language barrier when scoring with the chick, which is not an easy thing to do, to score with a chick that you don't speak the language. But I also learned during that experience, maybe picking up chicks at the free clinic isn't the thing to do. You know what I mean? Like that's you don't know
Well,
why they're there. You don't know.
yeah. Most of the friends I have who are, and I know you are a supporter of the 12 step, 12 steps or the meetings and all that kind of stuff. Almost every guy I know uses that as like a dating app. Like
The
they
free clinic?
no, the 12 step
Oh, the
program.
12. Oh, yeah.
And
Okay. So that's
it
something that,
always ends up with, man, she's crazy. It's like, hello, she
yeah,
had to hit rock bottom long before you met
right.
her. If she's in one of these 12 step meetings, chances are she was like the
Yeah,
star of a tape that you've never saw with,
right. Yeah. I mean,
she
yeah.
was drunk and getting jizzed on by 15 guys. No wonder she's fucking crazy. You met her at the crazy people meeting, but they don't get that. They keep continuing going to those. And not
So,
that guys are any better. Guys are all fucked up too. For women to use it as a dating
right.
app is just as fucked up. But
Yeah. I want to say this real quick. So, I've been to a lot of variances of the 12-step meeting, just so we're clear. Um, and I just and I used to participate in that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, they had meetings like about me, about like avoid this guy because he's fucking on some real bullshit, you know. Uh and like even that tactic that I was telling you about, the like just pester them until they came. Like that's terrible. That's terrible stuff to do. And like to go to a 12-step meeting, it's really you're really preying on somebody that's trying to get better. You know what I mean? And there was a time where I didn't understand that. I didn't realize that. You know what I mean? But I think that like you're never gonna get something healthy from that, especially if it's somebody new. You know what I mean? Like if you're, so that's some of the worst behavior for yourself and for them
if
that you can engage in.
if we can get absolutely clear on this, what you're saying is you're much better now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like the dude I used to, bro. I grow all the time, and I see, and there's some, there's shit that I didn't see, I don't know. I grew up in a really fucked up environment where manipulation and lying and, I mean, that was the everyday, you know what I mean? And so like, as I went to prison and as I started to change some of my core beliefs, yeah, like, you know, but for a long time, this was me. I was just this crazy, over the top guy. And even this is a calm phase for me. I was just having fun. But that like, that image, that like what that puts in your, that's how I lived my life for years. I was just all the time. Like,
Well, that design is in Spreadshop right now, but it's the first time any of my designs have been put in review. So we can't sell the merchandise with that until they approve that. They said it could take up to 7 days, but that something in that design triggered people thinking maybe we shouldn't let him sell merchandise through our platform with that design on it. So
I don't think it's
congratulations
the
on
yeah. I think it's the slogan. I think it just said my drug of choice is, and
right.
and it didn't matter what you put after that.
Well,
It
but the thing is, there is another design that has that same
yeah, with a different
title on it.
picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with a different picture, and they were
yeah.
fine with it. That one was available immediately.
was there something in your teeth? Because that'll, you get somebody who's actually really sensitive about that and go, look at that.
Well,
That's a
one
sesame seed.
one
That's a fucking
the
sesame
the
seed in
one
his
that got
teeth.
accepted didn't have teeth.
Oh, see, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
had no teeth.
Yeah.
Calls in the shower because. Well, come on, you've been on the show in the shower
It's
before. Do it again
what
now.
makes me feel
Prove it.
dirty.
Uh, Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if you guys tomorrow. I don't know if you're both planning on being here, or either one of you planning on being here. You guys are going to be here tomorrow. We generally do football picks on Thursday, since we've been doing that going back all the way back to 3 weeks ago. Um, but I have two guests scheduled for tomorrow, and I can't pronounce either one of their names.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Mr.
that's cool.
YYA.
Yeah.
Right.
They're both people of color, and that could get me in trouble just for not being able to pronounce their name. Oh, look, you hate people of color now.
You know, Reverend Jelly Roll may be better at playing. You know, maybe he wants to play interference to make sure you don't go too out of pocket. I don't
No,
know.
I don't need our token black guy to save me from
Oh my god!
from other. They're not. Neither one of them, I believe, are African Americans. They are Eastern Asian. You know, I don't know, Indian, Pakistani.
Pray for you the whole time.
I don't know, you're not even allowed to ask. Like, what's your heritage or any of this stuff?
You can't ask anymore.
I don't think so. I can't. Obviously, I can't.
I'm going to get you a turban, and so you just put the turban on, so you can just say, "Oh, you're a Sikh."
Yeah, maybe
they
it's
don't
your
know.
bald white head. Maybe that's why you can't ask.
I have been mistaken for a a Middle Eastern guy a lot, and that kind of stuff. I mean, I have a look that could be anything, really. I mean, it could be Italian, could be Greek, could be Middle Eastern, all that kind of stuff. But I think if I put a turban on, I would get a lot of hate mail from just
that. Go with me on this then. Instead of the turban, you turn your head around this way and you put two googly eyes,
right?
And you draw a nose and a mouth on the back of your head,
Mr. Potato Head.
Totally different person.
Yeah, totally. I could
totally
do that.
Different person. Put the googly eyes. Yes. Yeah. Turn your head. Yeah, and you turn around, put the googly eyes on the back of your head, draw a nose and a mustache, and it'd be like somebody else.
Or I could just draw the same face on the back.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Or put Groucho Marx glasses backwards on your head.
That'd be great.
And face the camera that way. And that way you can say it was not me. I don't know who that person was.
No, I can understand how people would be disappointed with the show right now. I definitely.
Well, Kat said that this is her rock bottom.
I know. I pulled that up while you were talking before. This is her rock bottom. I find that hard to believe because, listen, if we know anything about Kat, she is a distributor of illegal substances to people from other countries, and she has fucked up people with medication or self-medication where they couldn't lift their arms and they would sat there crying and whimpering. And these are foreigners coming to the land of the free, looking for hope and
only
redemption. And she
drugs.
ruined their lives. So
does she have an accent or something? Because that's how it usually works. If you have an accent, you could like say, "Pardon me, bonsoir, come on, and then the guy would go like."
She's got an accent, but it's a Long Island accent.
Oh, okay, because that's how the slave trade started. You know, the French that make everything sound so beautiful. What
it's called? She actually had one in Bisbee. It was dogs that sent me over the edge. Dogs? Wait a minute. What?
Shower?
The guy deserved what? It wasn't just one guy. Well, it was just one guy. But it was
so. When I was in South Dakota, I can't remember which comic it was, but one of the comics was doing a bit about how their dare officer made them believe that they'd be offered free drugs way more often than they've been. And I was just like, I don't know what you're doing wrong because I get offered free drugs all the fucking time. I'm like, you just got to work on your chill factor, bro, because like,
well,
for real, I'm always getting people giving me drugs. It's weird.
In 1980, my brother was, if you're a friend of my brother's, please tune out right now, turn off your volume or whatever for at least 3 minutes while it won't take 3 minutes. My brother was doing massive amounts of white powder cocaine, and he finally had enough. Somebody recommended he go to talk to psychiatrist who worked with my mother at the time, and he went to the psychiatrist and basically trying to deal with his cocaine addiction. And the psychiatrist said, "Well, I hear they're coming out with this new, more powerful cocaine now. You smoke it, and it's much cheaper. It's called crack cocaine." And my brother went from the psychiatrist's office to the corner to go look for some crack cocaine, and then became a crackhead.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, thanks, Doc. Thanks for the tip.
The fuck?
Yeah.
The fuck?
He must. must have worked for the Washington Post because the black people didn't even know about crack until the Washington Post printed it. Going,
Right.
yeah, there's a cheaper version of this shit, and it's
Yeah.
right in your neighborhood.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it'd be really fucked up. You know that dude selling crack down on the corner probably got like a side deal with the therapist. Like for every
Make sure you mention
people you send my way.
Yeah. You get a kickback for every sale I make. You get 3%. Kind of like an affiliate deal.
And
Yeah.
William, I gotta ask, because when you're traveling around, do you like to try like the local cuisine of that particular state or something?
Yeah.
What's the most fucked up thing you ate out of state? Not person, food.
Right. I mean, probably octopus that still had its like the suckers and stuff still on it.
Where were you,
That-
West Coast
I didn't
eating
like
that shit?
That was so weird. I didn't like that. Huh?
Where were you, West Coast eating that shit?
I think it was Louisiana. It was some kind of Cajun thing.
Yeah. East Coast is big on octopus too. I mean,
I forgot about the Gulf states. Yeah, they do the
even up here. I mean, up here on Nautical Mile, octopus was a big fucking thing too. I don't eat any of that shit. I mean,
I mean, I've had calamari before, and the only reason I tried it is because it did have I knew I'd probably hate it, and I did.
I only did it because I was trying to get into
consistency.
I was only trying to get into this girl's pants, and I didn't want her to think that I wanted her to think I'd eat anything, and so I did try. So I did eat the calamari, and I was like, "Oh my god, I hope she tastes better than this because this squid shit tastes awful."
Calamari is a favorite among all my friends. They all love it and they rave about it. And they've been eating it for years. And when I was doing Tasting New York last year at this time, we went to a pizza place and there was calamari pizza. And I asked the stupid question, what exactly is calamari? Like, how could you not know that? How could you be Italian and from Long Island and not know what calamari is? Because I don't eat anything that, that looks, they could take anything and put breading on it and make it seem like it's a delicacy. You don't know what the fuck that is. It's, people who don't know, it's squid.
Yeah.
A squid, if you ever saw a squid, you'd never say, oh, that looks like something I'd like to eat.
Right. And I mean, to me, the squid itself doesn't really have a flavor. Like it's however you cook it or prepare it.
Right.
Because like if you just cook that squid, like tell me it's flavorless.
It's rubber.
I'd almost rather have tofu.
It's like calamari. Eating a piece of rubber. That's all.
Yeah. To me, tofu is better than fucking calamari, and I hate tofu.
But what about the ink? Have you tasted the ink? I don't know. Let's put this way. It ain't a black person thing. That's why I'm asking you two guys because I can't find. I can tell you, I can go through my entire family tree and not find one that ever tasted octopus ink or squid ink. But I can go down the street and ask 3 white people, and 2 of them will have tasted it. So I'm just asking, I'm just trying to see.
What a bigoted thing to say.
Oh, you ain't heard shit yet. You think I can go even bigger?
Oh, bigger. I can get bigger than that.
Right. I go bigger or I go home.
Well, that's very bigot of you.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Go big it or go home. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think that was the theme at the Sturgis rally.
Right. So the day after, coming back to, you tell October 14th at Govs. Hello, Govs. We don't have to say goodbye to Govs just yet. But the day after that, we're going to be premiering the Church of the Last Resort on Sunday morning. And we need people to call in with prayer requests, beyond prayer requests, confessionals, and things like that. I will be in the background working the phone lines and that kind of stuff for Rev. But it should be an interesting show. He did kind of a healing on me the other day, and it sort of worked. I'm a little bit better. Do I seem a little better? I seem a little healthier, right?
I think there's even hair growing back.
Yeah, actually, that's true. You probably can't see it on there, but I do need a shave. If I can, people don't realize this, but I can let my hair grow in, and I will have hair even up here. But it'll be really thin and really white, and then I will look my age, and that's why I don't.
My wife started saying that I'm starting to get like a bunch of gray hairs up in here.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm 42.
My brother used to piss off his girlfriend on a regular basis, his living girlfriend, because every Friday night he'd leave her and go out with his boys every Friday night. He'd leave her, go out with her, and she was like, "I just want you to spend one Friday with me." And he was like, "Girl, I gotta go. I gotta hang out with my boys. I gotta hang out with boys." And then she stopped asking him. She stopped asking him about going out Friday night. She just let him go out every Friday night. And after about 3 or 4 weeks, he realized he was going bald, so he shaved his head. After a month of that, she told him that she had just gotten mad at him and she was just taking the scissors and cutting a little bit out of the back of his hair every night. So he looked like he was going bald. Because she was so mad at him, she was cutting his hair. And so he thought he was going bald and shaved his head. And then he decided to let his hair grow back. And he really did have a bald spot.
Yeah.
He couldn't grow his hair back once he tried to do it.
I hate the appearance of baldness when you're not actually bald, which is why I shave my head. Because if I let my hair grow in, I will have hair on my head. But on the top, it's so thin. It looks like a Bozo the Clown look. I don't know. And now I haven't seen it, but I'm certain it's very white. And I don't,
Well, I told the guy who does my hair, James Samaj, I have his card somewhere around here, but James Samaj, the guy who does my hair, because when you grow bald gradually, you don't notice it. And so he sees me once a month, and I said, James, you have to make this promise to me. If I start to go bald, you let me know so I can shave the dreads. I said, don't let me go Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? He's got like four dreads left and nobody's saying shit to him.
Just all back here.
Yeah.
So it looked like the dude from Kickboxer that was kneeing the fucking pillar.
Yeah.
But when he looks in the mirror, it looks fine to him.
Yeah, he hasn't seen a difference. Not one. Yeah. He still sees that same 20-year-old Stevie. Hey.
That's low hanging fruit right there. That's
really
some low hanging fruit. I'm sorry.
They ain't nothing.
I apologize for that right there. Yeah. So I'm not gonna ever grow. Carl said, "Do it." I'm not gonna do it. I'm not letting my hair grow in. I shave. I just shave unfortunately, I'm to the point where if I don't shave every day, the white hair starts coming in, and then it exposes me as being an old coot. Everything. If I open my mouth, it exposes me.
See it or just talk. Yeah.
So,
excuse me, whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Young buck.
Yeah.
You have the time.
Get the fuck off my lawn, you dirty little kids.
Well, I signed up for this abuse. It's brought to this abuse. I haven't run a commercial here yet, because I was going to be running commercials for Creative Live, but I'm awaiting a new voiceover. So
shoot, that's my fault. Yes, I'm home.
Maybe we'll get that soon, but I'm not really in a huge rush for that. But listen, if I were running that commercial today, I think they might call up and say, we're not so sure this is what we want to sponsor.
Well, if I may,
not like yesterday was.
No baby seals were harmed in the making of this show. So
right.
We won't hear anything about PETA. No seals are harmed in the making of this show.
Oh, well, that's good. But we did kick a few puppies down the stairs and fucking murdered some kittens. But that's now I guarantee you.
One species at a time.
I guarantee you that somebody is going to fucking write to me about what I just said. And, you think that's funny, kicking puppies down the stairs?
No, what's funny is the way they land. Kicking them is the hard part.
And
I think the roll, like when they skip a step, that's actually, like if I can get them to hit a step, skip a whole step, but still keep rolling. Because that's the thing. Because usually if you skip a step, they'll just stop. But if they keep rolling, that's when it's really fun.
It's like a slinky, like that dog slinky.
Yeah.
Yes,
puppy slinkies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to get some better sound effects happening here.
I thought that was gas. I was about to say, excuse me, because that sounds just like my car. Yeah.
What the?
Oh wait. We could do, if I could do them both together, if I could do this, I can't do this with that at the same time. You got to be really quick. You got to be quick on it.
God, I love that picture.
I know. Anyway, this is how we were wasting people's time. It is what it is. But
People are gonna, dude. I can't wait till people start buying those. I already know they're gonna. There's Kelly's gonna buy at least 4. I'm sure.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Kelly's not a buyer; she's a promoter.
Dude, she's awesome. She does
I know
so
she is.
she does so good at sharing my page and stuff like that.
I
I
know.
I think I did a great job choosing her for fan club president.
That is definitely worth its weight in gold. I mean, the sharing stuff is definitely, we appreciate that. But we would also appreciate some people actually going out and supporting the show in ways that actually matter, like buying the merch, supporting the sponsors, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, today I didn't even run a sponsor. I don't want to do a live read. I'm just too tired to do a live read. So we'll go without a sponsorship today. That's fucked up, isn't it?
Your own product.
I
Sell
could
your own
play.
product.
I could play True Fire. True Fire actually is doing pretty well. The True Fire campaigns.
All right.
I don't know, who's actually doing all this, but I haven't followed up on the demographics of who's signing up for guitar lessons. But we have through, according to the people at True Fire, they've seen a significant influx in traffic with stuff on the name of this show.
Drug
Really? That's
trafficking,
great.
child trafficking. Which kind of? Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
when I was
You
in
lost me
college,
on that one.
when I was in college, I wrote a short film, and this was back in 1978. I wrote a short film, 79. I wrote a short film, and it was called the Jimi Hendrix Guitar Kit. And basically, it was I had these people who couldn't play guitar, playing guitar before the Jimi Hendrix Guitar Kit, and then they get the Jimi Hendrix Guitar Kit, take the heroin. And then I was playing the guitar licks in the background, while they did all this shit. And I was playing the licks for them in the background. So the Jimi Hendrix Guitar Kit was some heroin, needle, rubber tubing, but it was funny back in 79 because people still knew who Jimi Hendrix was.
Yeah. Well, people still know who Jimi Hendrix is. Yesterday there was I don't know if it was Stevie Ray's birthday, Stevie Ray Vaughan's birthday, but for some reason he was trending yesterday. People still know all those classic rock guitar players.
But unfortunately, I think they know them more from commercials than from the actual music. It's like Jimi Hendrix, isn't he the one that sells consumer cellular telephones? You know what I'm saying? They know the music from the commercials and not from actually enjoying it.
Wow.
People my age swear, and I hate when this happens because I don't want to be somebody who's consistently calling people a bullshit artist, but people I know swear they saw Jimi Hendrix live. Jimi Hendrix died when I was 11. And so nobody my age saw him fucking live. They're full of shit when they say that. But I know lots of people who swear my age who swear they saw him live, and it just drives me crazy. It's like, dude, if anybody fact checks you at all, they're gonna know you're full of shit. Now we can't believe anything you say.
Remember when Wilt Chamberlain scored 101 points?
Right.
Now, back then, the NBA was not a big thing, so they didn't show it live. They showed it a month later or something. And a lot of the games were played in high schools or something, So Wilt Chamberlain, I think that game was actually in a high school or something, but it was like a capacity of 3,400 people. Not that many people could fit in there.
Right.
But if you surveyed the whole country, there's about 70,000 people who swear they were at that game when he scored 101 points. When I think the whole venue held 3,400 people.
And other people will say they watched it on television, and of course it wasn't on television. So
live. Yeah. They watched it live when it happened. Yeah.
Some of that is just false memories, because they might have seen a videotape or a tape of it somewhere. I don't even know. They didn't have videotape in those days, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
some of it's drugs.
Some of it is drugs. Not that I would know about that because I don't have access to any drugs. Speaking of drugs, we'll have Tommy Chong on Friday.
Yeah,
have him bring samples.
Yeah, I don't think his dispensary will ship to me from California.
He just does CBD, I'm pretty sure.
They have gummies too, Delta 9 gummies.
Right. Okay, but Delta 9 still not, and that's still not That's the synthetic stuff or whatever. Like he does not do THC. All his stuff is non-THC.
So Delta 9 THC is not pot
It's
THC.
like a Delta 9 is it's a synthetic or whatever. Yeah.
Robert Taylor Comedy says, I coached basketball against Will Chamberlain's college roommate, Ron Lonsky. In San Diego, Ron Lonsky. Come on. That's not a real name. That's not a real name. Is that a real name?
Considering the age of Robert Taylor.
Ron Lonsky is the name I check into the No-Tell Motel on there. Yeah, Ron Lonsky.
I got my last 3 credit reports under that name.
Yeah, come on. If you're gonna make up a name, make up something better than Ron Lonsky. Now that's weird. Ron Lonsky's was a college roommate of Will Chamberlain. How old is Ron Lonsky? And maybe when you coached against him, he must have been like 40 years older than you or something. Interesting stuff.
He coached basketball. Oh, okay. All right. I guess that's a little.
He coached basketball against Wilt Chamberlain's college roommate.
Sure.
Yeah. So they both could have been like coaching little league teams, or grooming kids, as I call it.
That's when there was still a lot of 5'9" to 6 foot tall white guys in the NBA
who could play center. No, just
yeah.
It's funny. I had to explain to my wife how good Jerry West was for the time and race. No, just for the time.
Do you remember the ABA, Rick Barry?
Oh yeah, with the red, white, and blue basketball.
Right, the red, white, and blue basketball, and Rick Barry used to do like free throws underhand.
Yeah.
Granny style?
Huh?
Granny style? He did his free throws.
Is that granny style? I don't know, but
it's called that now, but back then that was like the shit.
That was his kind of trademark, and Rick Barry made that popular, and then all the kids in the neighborhood were doing that, and the ABA was a thing then. And then emerged with the NBA, and they did away with the red, white, and blue basketball, and they said none more of that underhand bullshit. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna settle this. I just need to know from you two guys: when you were kids, what was your cape of choice when you played a superhero? Did you like a towel,
Superman for me?
Yeah, but what was you using? What did you use for a cape? What was your cape of choice?
It was a towel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Some people have pillowcases, sheets, shirts.
Yeah, bath towel basically, or beach towel, something like that. The problem was jumping off the roof of the house.
It's easier to wake up on the roof than it is to jump off.
Yeah,
I've jumped out of many lofts and stuff like that, but I did a lot of
being chased by jealous boyfriends does not count.
No. Just my friends would have farmhouses or whatever, but there was usually like a hay pile down there or something that you were jumping into. But when just for an example of really stupid stuff that I did as a kid, okay, and this is probably why I'm not so smart sometimes. Okay, my brother and I used to
go ahead. It's not just sometimes.
We used to dig into the snow and pull out like hunks of ice because, like, especially in the Midwest, snow gets compact or whatever. If you dig into snowbanks, you can actually pull out big chunks of ice. And we would get these huge, like, rocks of ice. And my brother and I would see which one of us could break one with our heads. You know what I mean? And bro, like me and my brother would just, and I was very good at breaking those. I think it's this. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed my side profile, but I'm very caveman-y, and I got that Cro-Magnon man.
Yeah, Cro-Magnon thing going on, definitely.
Yeah, and so like I really could wreck some ice.
So wait, you're saying that is the Cro-Magnon thing is a result of this ice breaking?
No, he's saying being a Cro-Magnon is the reason why he broke the ice.
I was so much better at smashing.
That's I was going to say cause and effect might be a little backwards here. It's the Cro-Magnon thing is the reason you were compelled to hit a block of ice with your face.
Well, probably both. Probably a little both. Probably why I was compelled and why I was good at it.
Now, do they still, does that, I hate to, because I know this one guy who is fucking up my ass about climate change. Every time I bring up climate change, we'll definitely get a slew of comments and emails from this one dick. But do they still have, can you still do that in the Midwest? Do you still get enough snow that you can reach down and get blocks of ice in the snow?
Oh yeah, and especially this last year, like when I was in Sioux Falls on my last trip, like they were still waiting for where they piled all their snow to clean the streets and stuff. That was still melting. Like when I was there before I left in July.
Wow.
You know?
That's not the case here. When I was a kid, the Great South Bay and the Atlantic Ocean and the Long Island Sound would freeze up so hard that you could drive a semi truck on it.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't even freeze up at all. But
it doesn't freeze up at all.
Doesn't even freeze. Not one day do we even get a sliver of ice on it anymore. In the last 5 years, we actually had one day that had a sliver of ice for.
Are you getting dolphins in there yet?
We in the North Shore, yeah, we have dolphins all the time. My friend who lives right on the beach level on the North Shore, about 30 miles west of here, he sees dolphins in his front yard every day, backyard.
Speaking of front yard, did you post a picture of you feeding deer watermelon in your front yard?
Yeah, backyard. Yeah,
backyard. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I'm not impressed by backyard. I thought it was your front yard. I was impressed.
No, yeah, I know. It doesn't matter. But my neighbor saw me doing that, and he had an emotional breakdown. He just moved here, and he's like, "I'm so glad we moved to this place. Is heaven." Like, yeah, I'm feeding them, but all the other neighbors hate me for doing it because they're saying, "Well, this is the reason we all got Lyme disease. It's because you're out there feeding the fucking deer."
Well, if they don't eat lime, they won't get Lyme disease. They can't be blaming that shit on you. What the?
Yeah, that's true. But
so how did you get the deer used to taking watermelon? Because I'm telling you, in my neighborhood, when they put watermelon out there, it's the black people that show up to get it, and the deer ain't got a shot. So I'm just wondering, how did you? I said you don't have any black people in your neighborhood. No, never mind. I just answered my own question.
No black people are allowed in this neighborhood. No.
Okay, I answered my own question.
You know what? We do have a few black people here, but they are gentrified black people who think they're white people.
Yeah.
And occasionally, if you get a real black person walking around here, the police will stop them and say, "What are you doing here?"
Hey, you know what? I don't even gotta be black, and that happens to me. That happened to me when I first came to Grants. Like I knew I didn't want to live with my sister the whole time, and so my wife and I were driving around town, seeing what was available or whatever, and boom, we got pulled over.
But is that a small town? Because small towns don't like newcomers at all.
Right.
But once they realize that you're a harmless white, then they say, "Oh, well, come on in. You one of us."
That is the only time I've ever been pulled over in this town.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a check. It's just a check to make sure you belong. And once you show them your white card, they go like,
I checked all the boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, they go like, yeah, it's okay. And then they get on the radio. They go, "Yeah, this one's good. He's one of us."
Yeah. With the deer, though, basic. Oh, what are you doing there? We're not going to see.
He's putting peanut butter down for his dog.
My dog's run out. I'm sorry.
We're not going to see any kind of.
That's right. He said the dog came for more peanut butter.
Don't worry.
No bestiality on this program.
The dog,
oh my God.
The dog was under the table. He comes up and says, "Hey, you're out of peanut butter now."
He's putting peanut butter on his dick, and the dog's licking it off.
This is a family show.
Yeah, really. At least put jelly with
bro,
it.
If this is a family show, your family's all going to hell.
the Manson family show, maybe.
Right. Yeah, it's super bad.
We got kids listening to this shit. Is that Jif or Skippy? Because choosy moms choose Jif.
Right.
but happy dads pick Skippy.
Oh God. What? You bought
I'm
it?
sorry. Finish your story because this man keeps interrupting you. Go ahead. Finish your story about the watermelon.
Oh no, the watermelon thing it evolved. It basically didn't start with watermelon. I mean, I didn't even know they would eat watermelon, but it started with when I would go out in the backyard to smoke a joint. I don't know if I told you guys I tried marijuana.
What
Uh,
the
uh,
fuck you say?
I know,
That's
but
very disappointing.
I got hooked. I got
This
hooked.
just in.
I got hooked on it. It was I had to fight my demons, and but anyway, so I was in the backyard trying marijuana, and I had a joint, and there was a baby deer, and it kept coming over and sniffing. They're like, "What? You want a hit?" And I gave the baby deer a hit, and it just fucking took the joint right out of my fucking hand and ate it on fire.
So he had the munchies. That's why he ate the watermelon.
Yeah, so it just evolved. Next day, I went out and I was giving it some apples, and then I was giving it all sorts of stuff. And then we had every time I got a watermelon, instead of slicing up the watermelon, I would carve it out and get do it like a gentrified watermelon thing where you don't have slices of watermelon, but then I'd have the rinds, and I'd like my wife was like, "Oh, you got to carve." I'm like, no person wants to eat that close to the rind. Well, that stuff's no good. I just threw it out there, and the deer started coming over and eating it. So then I just thought I'd just come out every day and just feed them that, and I was surprised how much they love watermelon. So maybe they're not white-tailed deer; they're black-tailed deer.
I was about to say that. I was about to.
Black-tailed deer. Yeah. My dad was not a racist guy at all, but he did say things that were racist. Like, when he was watching football, and a black guy fumbles the football, he said, "It was a watermelon. He would have dropped it."
Yeah, no, that was the kind of stuff my dad would say. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I always call him a closet racist for that.
Yeah, or just falling back to stuff that was ingrained in him, but. Yeah, it is what it is.
This is back a while ago. I think it was Texas and Alabama. They both had like one black player. This is a while ago. They both had one black player, and I think Texas, their black player was on defense, and Alabama, their black player was a running back. And their running back was running ball, and the other black guy tackled him, and the guy screamed, "Get your nigger off our coon." So
wow.
Yeah. Now somebody can go back and fact check the actual schools, but I guarantee you that quote is absolutely true.
Wow.
Yes, he was defending him. The sidelines were defending him. The team was yelling, "Get that nigger off our coon!" So that was the team defending him. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Friends like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, did I